Om Namah Shivaya. A very good evening and a warm welcome to all who have joined us. Every start becomes fruitful only with the blessings of the Almighty. I request Harinandana to invoke Amma's divine blessings through her prayers. Harinandana, over to you.
Shreyaji. Om ध्यायामो धवलावकुण्डलवती तेजोमयीं नैष्टिकीम् स्निग्धापाङ्गविलोकिनी भगवती मन्नस्मितश्रीमुखी वात्सल्यामृतवर्षिणीं सुमधुरम् सङ्कीर्तनालापिनी श्यामाङ्गे मधुसिक्तसूक्तिम् अमृतानन्दात्मिका ईश्वरी ॐ अमृतेश्वरी नमः ॐ अमृतेश्वरी नमः ॐ अमृतेश्वरी नमः.
Thank you, Harinandana, for the beautiful rendition. It gives me an immense pleasure and privilege to welcome you all on behalf of AYUDH Kerala team. We have all gathered here for a purpose, to break the myths of civil service examinations. Today, and I'm very much sure that this webinar would serve you the same. Today we have with us Brahmachari Vishwanath Amrita Chaitanya, Director of Amrita IAS Academy and Head of Corporate and Industry Relations, Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham Amritapuri Campus. Our speaker, Shri C.B. Joy, Faculty Amrita IAS Academy, and also Shri Murali Krishna, AYUDH Kerala Coordinator as the guests, and each one of you who have joined us. AYUDH has conducted several events to engage and evolve the passionate youth. To brief us about Amrita Yuva Dharma Dhara, AYUDH, I welcome Shri Murali Krishna, a person with 15 plus years of experience in industry, a BTech and an MBA graduate from IIM Calicut, working currently with Ernst & Young as an assistant director and also a certified project management professional. Apart from this professional background, Sri Murali Krishna ji is a passionate AYUDH volunteer serving as Kerala State Coordinator and member of AYUDH Coordination Committee, National Coordination Committee. He has delivered trainings and facilitated workshops at several organizations. I once again welcome Sri Murali Krishna ji. Over to you.
Thank you, Amrita. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Namaskar all. I'm really excited that we've all, got together, joined for this important session. When I look at the list of participants, for most of the participants, this has been a very busy period, last 1 month or so, because AYUDH India, across India, AYUDH chapters have been running support desks for COVID patients and their family members to help them in getting the resources. Our volunteers have been working, tirelessly, 24/7. Many of you have been working. So I just want to start the session by thanking each one of you for the tremendous effort you all have put in to bring some relief to the family members of COVID patients and bring some hope into their lives. I think we have now I think we've crossed 1 month of our operations of support desk. And what we have achieved is tremendous. And I hope we will soon be able to, um, close operations and our nation will be back to normal. I hope and pray that situation gets better very soon. And we are indeed seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. So let's hope for the best. And for Ayodhyans, such service activities are quite normal. We have been running a series of a large number of activities across the nation. We have 4 focus areas, as all of you are aware. We do a lot of social service activities. We do green initiatives. We do a number of activities to empower youth, and of course to learn our culture, tradition of this great nation. And through all these activities, what are we doing? Somebody asked me the other day, what do you guys do? So when I explained that we organize all these activities, so he wanted to know what exactly, what is the purpose. And when I could only give one answer. Inspired by Amma's words, that if our youth arise and act, they have the strength and vigor to create huge transformation in the society. So inspired by Amma's words, we are molding the future leaders of this nation. We are molding compassionate leaders who are ready to work selflessly, who are ready to work tirelessly 24/7 to serve the society, to serve the nation. And when our nation is getting ready to celebrate 75th Independence Day, which is coming up next year, I think these are the kind of leaders our nation needs. We want compassionate leaders who are ready to serve the society, right? And AYUDH is committed to molding, to guiding our youth, to channelizing the immense potential of youth to build the nation, for building a better society. Next 25 to 26 years, when we are after our 75th celebration, after 25 years, we'll be celebrating 100 years of independence, right? What a great milestone that is going to be. And each one of you on the call, right? Each one of us have a critical part to play. And this is going to be a critical period in the history of this nation. And all of you are aware that we have more than 60% of our population are less than 40 years of age. Just imagine the opportunity we have in front of us. If we are able to channelize the energy, if we are able to guide our youth, the impact this is going to have is huge. And that's exactly the purpose why we have organized a session like this, why we have been organizing sessions like this. We've been collaborating with the AIS Academy for the last couple of years. We've been working closely with Swami and his team. And I also want to take this opportunity to thank Swami and the entire Academy for the exceptional support Academy has been providing for AYUDH, to catering to all our requests for organizing similar sessions. So, our goal is very simple, straightforward. We want to see some of you leading the nation, right? We want to see some of you as the future leaders, right? And we are committed to that goal. We are ready to provide you all the support, guidance, and above all, we have our Amma, we have Amma's grace with us, which is the biggest asset we have. Amma's inspiration, and with Amma's grace, I'm sure we will achieve that goal. So I don't want to take too much time. Before I hand it over to Swami, I I I want to uh, end my words with a request, with a hope that someday in the next 3 years, uh, within the next 3 years, this is a challenge for all of you. All participants who have joined for this webinar. I'm giving this challenge. I'm keeping this challenge in front of you. Within the next 3 years, I would like to get a phone call from a few, at least 5 from this group, who will come back and tell me, Murli, we have cleared civil services, right? And we are keeping three years timeline, and with the hope that I am going to receive much more calls than 5. I end my words. I thank once again Swami and his team for joining and for accepting our request to join for this session. And all the best to each one of you on the call. Vande Mataram. Back to you, Amrita.
Thank you, Sri Murali Krishna ji, for that wonderful introduction about AYUDH and the role of youth in various dimensions as well. Let Amma herself give us immense strength and passion to continue the selfless service of the youth. Now, I request Brahmachari Vishwanathamrita Chaitanya ji to address our participants with his words of wisdom. As I mentioned before, Brahmachari Vishwanathamrita Chaitanya ji is the director of Amrita IAS Academy and head of CIR, Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham, Amritapuri campus. Welcoming you once again to speak few words and share.
Thank you. Thank you, Amrita. Thank you, Murali, for giving us this opportunity for having this platform to address all the AYUDH volunteers. I think it's really an honor for me to talk to you all. I have been part of AYUDH and very closely been seeing the kind of extraordinary work AYUDHians have been putting across the length and breadth of this country. Of late, as part of this, the help desk support that you have been extending to, the needy. So even in these times, the very fact that you have chosen to be part of this event here today, really honor you and to really congratulate, because the idea that we are sharing with you all today is something that is close to the heart of any graduate in India. To look at civil service as a serious career opportunity. As we all know, it's quite a difficult or tough exam. I mean, at least as it is presented to us, and we are seeing civil service officers as part of our schooling or part of our social, life. Either they addressed us or we have seen them in action, and how well they are considered, and how much the respect they get from society for the good work they do in running the affairs of the government and all those things. So it's been almost 6 years since I've been entrusted with the responsibility to manage the affairs of the Amrita IAS Academy, which is based out of Trivandrum. And today we have, I'm sure, volunteers from here in this session participating from across the country. So it's only because we have this online platform that I'm able to reach out to you all. Otherwise, normally, typically, we would have been, talking to students in and around this part of the country and explaining matters. So honestly, I'm privileged that we can talk to you all. So the one idea I want to share with you all is, from whatever little I have seen, about civil service, about students joining us, about students preparing for the exam, and how students are clearing it. All the myths or many of the misconceptions that we have about the exam, honestly, is preventing many of the students, the bright students, or even the students, ambitious students, or students with determination from taking this exam. So I have learned in this course of these few years, the success of a candidate in the exam has less to do with and otherwise the brilliance or the talent or I would say the prodigious capacity of a student or a candidate, as much as your passion to be part of the service, as much as your willingness to work hard, and beyond all to have a focus, to have a goal, to clear it and then making it real for you. So the I would say the reality of the exam and success versus the myths about it. Okay, so today I thought because as Murali rightly said, you all have taken service as an ideal in life. Okay, imbibing the values from Amma, where we believe service is the way to live. Naraseva, Narayana Seva. Manava Seva, Madhava Seva. So those beautiful, finer ideas that we're practicing in life. But if only we get an opportunity to really make service as a career, where in public service, as a civil servant, we are in public service. What it implies is that our salary comes from the citizens of this country. We are paid from the taxpayer, and our service is to the nation, service is to the citizens of this country. So that unique opportunity is available to us when we join the service. And of course, there are several government jobs, no doubt. But being part of the civil service actually empowers us, entrusts us with the opportunity to take the key decisions for the good of this nation, for the development of this country. So the opportunity that is available as part of the being part of the service is enormous. It's comprehensive. Okay, it really gives you a lot of space and opportunity to fulfill many of the dreams that you may have to serve society. Okay, so what stops us probably is some of the assumptions, some of the wrong ideas we may have about the exam and what it takes to get into the service. That is why I think the title for this session is aptly presented the way it is. So I wouldn't want to take too much of your time. I've seen it in my own few years. I still remember I had in my own young days, I had an idea of, joining service, but it remained a dream because there was no effort towards it. Neither was enough exposure that was available. So belonging to different part of the country, village environment, honestly, it was not possible. Probably we didn't try hard enough. But today times have changed. Today, if you really carry the passion to join service, there is a way. There are people to guide. There are institutions available, and Yama's own academy is there. So much is possible today. So we would like to really, talk to you all to really explain to help us understand what is this exam about, what it takes to clear the exam, what it takes to prepare for the exam. So we have Mr. C.B. Joy here with us. He's an aspirant himself. He's been preparing for the exam. He's gone to UPSC interview board also as part of his preparation to get into service. And I believe as we have seen, many of our own faculty members are in service today. They are joined the civil service. So many of the faculty are as senior aspirants who know the game in and out. And you can share with us exactly what it takes, what are the various nuances of the exam. So today, I shouldn't take too much of your time. We will leave it to CB Joy to speak to us. Okay, what is UPSC Civil Service exam all about? And then we will have an opportunity to have a Q&A. And I will also join in maybe later on if required, so that we really understand and then decide. Okay, let us take an informed decision whether this is for me. If you have a passion in your heart to serve this nation, and I believe this could be one of the best vocation. And with those words, may I again thank you all for logging in today. Congrats for being here with us and really praying to Amma for Amma's grace so that you do well in life. Om Amadeshwari Amma. Thank you. Thank you, Amrita.
Thank you, Sami, for giving a wonderful preface of this webinar, Demystifying the Myths of Civil Service Examination, and also for stressing the need to grab this opportunity to serve the nation. Thank you, Sami. Now, moving on, please allow me to welcome the most important person of our webinar, The speaker himself, Sri C.B. Joy. Sri C.B. Joy is a mechanical engineering graduate and currently one of the senior teaching faculties of Amrita IAS Academy. He has cleared his UPSC preliminary exam and has journeyed to final stages of UPSC selection. Let us welcome Sri C.B. Joy to lighten us on demystifying the myths of civil service examination. Over to you, sir.
So thank you, Amrita. I hope everything is audible from my side. Okay, so good evening, everyone, and thank you, Amrita, for your wonderful words. Thank you, Swami, for your wonderful preface, and thank you, Sri Murali Krishna, for the wonderful welcoming address that you have offered to this webinar. So without any delay, I'd like to get into the seminar because I've been taking you all away from your valuable efforts towards combating this COVID pandemic. So I don't wish to delay that. You always at the front line of the efforts. So I understand that. So let's make sure that this session is productive. So the topic of the session is demystifying the myths of UPSC exam. What is the UPSC exam? So I'll just give you an outline of what we are going to discuss. We'll be having a Q&A session at the end of the program so that you can clear all your doubts. So we'll be talking about what exactly is the UPSC exam, what is its scope, what is its structure, what is its syllabus, and what is the attitude, and all these myths and misconceptions and perceptions, wrong perceptions about this exam, which prevent many of us from, aiming for it, striving for it, or, just being so close yet so far away from the final goal. So I'd like to open our discussion on this. So if you have any doubts, if you have any, you need some clarification or something, feel free to drop it in the chat box or, raise a hand. We'd be most happy to help you. And if you have any further doubts, you can definitely address it at the end of the session in the Q&A part. Okay. So without any delay, I'd like to begin off by saying what exactly is the UPSC Civil Services Examination. So we say that UPSC exam. What is UPSC exam? We are talking about mainly the Civil Services exam. So UPSC is just a body. One of its main important exams it conducts is the Civil Services Examination. So we are very familiar with the Civil Services Examination. We've heard of IAS officers, IPS officers, IRS officers, Revenue Service officers. But apart from all that, you have to understand that there are 24 services. 24 services all across the country, each playing a very crucial role towards our country's development. So I'd like to name a few of them just for your awareness. That is Indian Administrative Service, Indian Police Service, Indian Revenue Service, Indian Postal Service, Indian Trade Service, Indian Information Service, Indian Company Law Service, etc., etc., etc. So many different services. We are more familiar with IAS and IPS. Why? Because they are present in our hometowns, in our home districts, on the places where we reside in. But many of these services are sometimes present only in the state capitals or in certain specific cities, or maybe even in the nation's capital of New Delhi. So the reason behind that is they perform certain specific roles which are very crucial to the economy, which are very crucial to the running of this country, and they demand a very solid presence, and the quality of people who are supposed to occupy those positions are supposed to be really good. You can't just take any man, or you can take any person, man, women, doesn't matter. What it requires is people of caliber to occupy that space. Now, before going to what exactly defines a person of caliber, let's understand what this exam structure is all about. Okay, so I'm just giving you an overall overview of it so that you can have a clear-cut understanding. So generally, the exam goes in 3 parts. The first is the preliminary level, the second is the mains examination, and finally, it is the personality test. So what is the preliminary examination? What is the main examination? What is the interview or the personality test program? We'll break it down into 3 parts. The preliminary examination, it is an objective type examination. What exactly do we mean by objective? Very simple. It's a multiple choice question. A, B, C, D. You just have to choose one answer, bubble it. So in this first part, in the preliminary examination, generally, on an average, 10 lakh people apply for it all over India. At least 5 lakh write the exam. So among this 5 lakh participants or people who are writing this exam, this is meant to be as a filter for the main examination. So the people who perform the best in the preliminary examination will be taken for the main examination. How are they determining who's the best? The person with the highest marks. The people who score the highest marks, approximately I'll give you something around 10,000 to 15,000. Depending upon the number of vacancies, it can vary between 10,000 and 15,000. So generally, 10,000 to 15,000 people out of this 5 lakh people who are writing the examination will be qualifying for the UPSC mains examination, the second part of the UPSC exam. Now, unlike the first part of the exam, which was more towards the objective type multiple choice questions, the second part or the mains part of the examination is going to be descriptive. It's not objective. You're supposed to write detailed answers to the questions which are being asked. And those who again score real good marks in the mains examination. So out of this 10,000 or approximately 50,000 candidates who are writing the mains examination, 2,000 to 3,000 people will be called forth for the final stage of the UPSC interview process, which is known as the interview or the personality test. In the interview, what do? Your personality will be analyzed, observed by a panel of eminent personalities. Eminent personalities in the sense they are people who are at the top echelons of the government, of universities, scientists, people of very high stature, who will be checking your personality, who will be evaluating your personality with regards to your compatibility for the civil services examination. And based upon the final marks which is obtained in the personality test and the marks which is obtained in the mains part, which is the second portion of the exam, both of that will be combined and a list will be prepared. And if you find your name in that golden list, you're a part of the Indian civil services. You're part of the steel frame of the bureaucracy. So that is the general structure of the exam. So I've given you a general overview. Let's go into the nitty-gritty details of this exam. So I told you preliminary exam is an objective exam. It's a multiple choice question. So it has 2 papers. That is paper 1 and that is paper 2. Now paper 1 has 100 questions. Paper 2 has 80 questions. So the paper 1 question, paper 1, 100 questions. Each one carries 2 marks. But in case you make a question wrong or you mark a question wrong, 1/3 or 0.66 marks will be reduced. I hope that is clear. Out of 100 questions, 2 marks per question, negative 1/3. If you don't attempt it, no negatives. Basic clear. So this is the same thing for the paper 1 and paper 2. But paper 2, it has just 80 questions. So for each question, it is 2.5 marks. Instead of 2 marks, it's 2.5 marks. Similarly, in case you make a wrong, you mark a wrong answer, 1/3 will be reduced. I hope that is clear. So what exactly is being asked in the preliminary exam? What exactly is asked in the paper 1 and the paper 2? So in paper 2, I'll begin with paper 2 because to evaluate paper 2, the role behind paper 2 is just qualify. You just have to pass paper 2. For your first paper to be evaluated, you need to clear the second paper. So what exactly is that in the second paper? The second paper is the one which has 80 questions. The second paper has basic maths and basic English. That's it. Basic maths, basic English. So generally, this second paper is known as the Civil Service Aptitude Test or CSAT, CSAT, Civil Service Aptitude Test. So the CSAT paper has basic English, basic maths. You need to score 1/3 of the marks. Okay. Or to be more specific, you need to score something above and over 66 marks out of 200. So there are 80 questions. Each question has 2.5 marks. You need to score something over and above 66 marks or 66.67 marks to make sure that you pass your second paper. That's it. It doesn't matter. You score 200 out of 200. You score 100. Everything is equal. Just pass in your second paper because the second paper is qualifying in nature. You need to pass it. You need to clear the marks of 66.67. So I hope the general overview of second paper is clear. Coming to the first paper. Now, once your second paper is clear, in the first paper, you have to score really high. Your marks in the first paper will be tallied. And like I said, 5 lakh people will be writing the preliminary exam on average. Upon that, whoever qualifies the second paper, the first paper marks will be tallied, and based upon that, the top 10,000 to 15,000 people will be chosen. Okay. Now, if you have any doubts, you can always ask at the end of the session. So, coming to the paper 1. Paper 2, I said we have basic English and basic maths. Basic English and basic maths meaning 10th level, not graduate level, not +2 level, it's just 10th level. You just have to pass that. We'll come to paper 1. Paper 1 has majorly 6 subjects. Majorly. One is history, the second is geography, third is polity, fourth is economy, fifth is environment, and sixth is science and technology. I'll repeat: history, geography, polity, economy, environment, science and technology. So 6 papers in general form the first part of the first paper in the preliminary examination. So apart from the 6 topics, there is one important topic known as the newspapers or the current affairs, generally. So current affairs you can get from the newspaper. So generally you can add on a single topic to all those subjects as current affairs. So this is what you're going to be preparing for your preliminary exam. Now, I'd like to address a myth which is always being propagated with regards to the civil service examination. You don't, like, they can ask you anything and everything. There is no way you can prepare for it. They ask you everything under the sun and over the earth, or sometimes even below the earth or after the sun. No, that is a fixed syllabus. UPSC has given a very fixed syllabus, and based upon that syllabus, I've told you these subjects. It is these subjects that you're supposed to study for the preliminary examination. We'll go into the detailed subjects, what are they supposed to be, and how you can get all those books to study those subjects. We'll go into it at the last. But generally, I'd like to say for the preliminary examination, to begin off your foundation of preparation, you have to start off with NCERT textbooks. Now, the myth again is, to prepare for civil services, you have to read big fat textbooks by, big professors, authors, scientists. No. What you have to read is the NCERT school textbooks given to students from 6th standard to 12th standard. It's that easy. That's what you have to read. To learn about history, geography, polity, economy, environment, science and technology. All these 6 subjects you can cover using your NCERT textbooks from 6th standard to 12th standard. So if you're beginning off your civil service preparation, you have zero idea like what should I do, what book should I get, what are the subjects I should do. Don't worry. Go to the nearest old bookstore or go online. You will get PDFs or books of NCERT textbooks from 6 to 12. Find the subjects which I have mentioned, start reading, and you're set for the civil services examination. You can begin there. So yeah, I'll just repeat the 6 topics again. One is history, geography, polity, economy, environment, and science and technology. So I was asked it out, that's why I just repeated the subject topics. So you're supposed to learn from the NCERT textbooks as a foundation. So I hope that is clear for the preliminary exam. In the first paper, you're supposed to learn these 6 subjects plus your current affairs. In the second paper, it's basic maths and English, and you need to make sure that you qualify the second paper, or you just pass the second paper, so that you can your marks of the first paper will be tallied and you can qualify for the main examination. So that is clear. Yes, is there a doubt? Please, if there is any doubt, please drop it in the chat box. Okay, I'll just continue. With regards to the mains examination, so we are done with the prelims in general. We talked about what is the structure of prelims, first paper and the second paper. We are now going to the mains examination. So imagine each and every one of you in this seminar, in this webinar, you all cleared the prelims examination. You've done your homework properly, you've written the exam properly, you've been on time, you've finished everything, bam, you're for the mains examination. Unlike the prelims examination, mains is a completely different ball. Why? Because it's not a what do you say, it's not an objective type exam. It's a subjective or a descriptive type of exam. Excuse me. Okay, Nakshatra, I'll be addressing your query at the end of this Q&A. Don't worry, because I'll just finish this off and I will be telling how you can mold yourself. Okay, so don't worry, it will be addressed at the end of the session. So I'll just go with it. Okay. The subjects for the civil service preparation. Okay, please note it down. History, geography, polity, economy, environment, science and technology. I hope you all noted down the subjects. We'll be coming back at the end of the session. We'll be again addressing, we'll have a recap of all this. So don't worry. Okay, so no worries, no issues at all. Yes, we'll be going for the mains examination. We were discussing about the mains examination. So each and every one of you have cleared the prelims examination. You're going for the mains examination. Unlike the prelims examination, where you just have to bubble it in the OMR sheet, now you are supposed to write your answers in descriptive format. So again, there is a syllabus. There are different papers. So unlike the prelims exam, which has just 2 papers, the mains examination has 9 papers. Okay, 9 papers where you're supposed to write. And very similar to the second paper of your prelims examination, that is a qualifying paper where you just have to score minimum marks. In your mains examination also, there are 2 qualifying papers. So like I said, there are totally 9 papers in your mains examination. Out of the 9, 2 papers are qualifying in nature. That is, you just have to pass those exams. You just have to pass that paper. So what exactly are these qualifying papers? One is English. Okay. So out of the 9 papers, 1 qualifying paper is English. The second qualifying paper is regional language. Now, what do you mean by regional language? Any Indian language which is mentioned in the constitution. So there is a list of languages. Generally, any Indian language, it can be Tamil, it can be Hindi, it can be Marathi, it can be Malayalam, it can be Telugu, Kannada. Please, you have to just pass with minimum marks in your regional language paper and in your English paper. There is no compulsion that you're supposed to choose your mother tongue itself as the regional language. Nothing. It is completely one's choice. You can be from Kerala. You can choose Hindi as your as your regional language. You can come from Delhi and choose Tamil as your regional language. There is no problem. There is no objection to that. You just have to write and pass in those papers. So 2 qualifying papers. One is English and one is regional language. So yeah, what is the minimum marks for these papers? So these 2 papers are for 300 marks. Okay, so English paper has 300 marks and your regional language has 300 marks. You just have to score 75 marks, not half. 75 marks is what you have to score in that. Literally 1/4. Is it tough? Not at all. Because I'll tell you what is inside these regional language, inside this regional language question paper and inside this, English question paper. There's going to be a general essay. There is going to be a précis writing. And there is going to be comprehension writing. And there is going to be grammar. Common topics. Generally, these will be the topics. In your regional language, there will be translation extra. That's it. So you'll have general essay, you'll have comprehension, you'll have précis writing, and you'll have grammar. In your regional language, you'll have a bit of translation to English. So this is very, very, very easy because again, it's going to be 10th standard level. It's not going to be graduate level. It's not going to be your 12th standard level. It's just 10th standard level. Very, very easy to qualify because you just have to score 75 marks. But just because I said it's easy and just because you have to score 75 doesn't mean that everyone will pass, because if you do lose touch with the language, it is quite possible that we can just lose a few marks. And if you get pushed below 75, very similar in your prelims examination, it won't matter how much ever marks you score in the other papers. If you don't qualify this, your papers won't be evaluated. It won't be taken into consideration. Okay, so make sure you qualify the qualifying papers. You make sure you qualify in those 2 papers. One is English and the other is the regional language. So out of the 9 papers, we finished 2 papers. Now we have 7 papers left. So out of these 7 papers, 5 papers are common for each and every aspirant who's writing mains. 5 papers are common. We'll go one by one. The rest 2 are going to vary upon each aspirant. But we'll just go with the first, we'll go with the common papers. The first common paper is general essay. The first common paper is general essay, and it's going to be for 250 marks. Following general essay, there is going to be a paper known as General Studies 1, then the next paper which is General Studies 2, then the next paper which is General Studies 3, finally General Studies 4. So General Studies will be shortened for ease of communication. We'll be saying it as GS. Okay, so don't get confused what I'm saying. So there's going to be essay, GS1, GS2, GS3, and GS4. 5 common papers for all. So what is the difference? So general essay is very similar to the essay papers you've been writing in your school or your college. Write a general essay of 1,000 words to 1,000 words. You have 4 topics, you just have to write a general essay on that. And there'll be you'll have to write 2 essays. So 250 words, 250 marks. So that is the first paper, the general essay paper. Now coming to GS1, 2, 3, and 4. So GS1, 2, 3, and 4 has a syllabus which is very similar to the preliminary exam syllabus. It has all the major 6 subjects which I've said was present for the preliminary exam. But it has a few more additional subjects. So I've broken it down. If you wish to note it down, please note it down. After essay, there is GS1, and GS1 has the following subjects. 1, history, followed by geography, and followed by Indian society. Okay. So GS1 paper has history, geography, and Indian society. Now you go for the next paper, which is GS2 paper. In the GS2 paper, you have polity, international relations, then you have social justice, and finally you have governance. Polity, international relations, social justice, governance. Coming to GS3, you have economy, you have science and technology, you have environment, finally you have internal security. I'll repeat, GS3 has economy, science and technology, environment, and internal security. GS4 has just one topic, ethics. That's it, ethics.
Sir, GS exam will be happen on UPSC.
I'm sorry, I didn't get you. Can you please repeat it?
Sir, GS exam will be happen on UPSC examination.
Yes, this is a part of the UPSC examination. Like I said, this is a 3-part process. First, that will be the preliminary exam, and then that will be the main exam. And as a part of this main exam, you will be writing 9 papers. So I'm talking about the 9 papers. 2 were qualifying in nature, and of that remaining 7 papers, we are discussing about the 5 papers. And among them, GS1, 2, 3, 4, and essay are part of the papers. Okay, so each one is a separate paper. Essay is one paper, GS1 is GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4. Each of them are separate papers for the UPSC mains examination.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So this is the syllabus. Okay, so if you look at the syllabus of each of the subjects, you'll notice there is economy, there is polity, there is history, there is geography, there is science and technology, there is environment. You've been learning all this as part of your preliminary exam itself. That is just an addition of few subjects like Indian society, international relations, governance, internal security, and ethics. These are comparatively you will be taught well, you'll be understanding them, and then you'll be writing the mains examination. Okay. So once this mains examination, yeah, so we finished 5 papers and we finished 2 qualifying papers. Now we are left with 2 papers, which is not common for all. The rest of the 7 papers are common for all. Now these 2 papers are not common for all because they are your optional paper. Much like, imagine you can choose a subject. It can be any subject. You can choose any subject, history, geography, English literature, medical science, engineering, commerce, economics, political science, sociology. It is the candidate's personal choice. It doesn't have to be your graduation degree. No, there is no need to be, no need for you to be, it has to be that graduation degree. No. So you can just choose an optional paper. And much like it's present in your, if you remember your school days, you would have remember that there'll be subjects like English 1, English 2, what do you say, there is language paper 1, language paper 2, or max 1, max 2. So it's going to be one subject which is going to be separated into 2 papers. So for example, if someone chooses the optional of, what do you say, commerce, they'll have commerce paper 1 and commerce paper 2. It's just one optional which is separated into 2 parts. That's it. Okay. Again, there is a syllabus for that, and the choice is up to you. So whenever you choose an option, please make sure that you are, willing to study for that option, and if possible, you can find a guide or a faculty or a mentor who can teach you with regards to the subject. Because generally, it's not enough to have a graduate level knowledge or something which is similar to college level knowledge. You'll have to have something a bit more better than college level to make sure that you score really well in your optional papers. Okay. Now, leaving the qualifying papers of regional language and English, essay, GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4, optional paper 1, optional paper 2, each and every one of them are for 250 marks. Okay. So each and every one of the optional papers are for 250 marks. And that is all for the mains examination. I hope you all understood what are the subjects, what are the number of papers you're supposed to write, which of them are qualifying, which of them are scoring, and which of them are common, which of them are supposed to be your choice. I hope you all understood that. Okay. We'll be going for the final part. So once your mains examination is done, the people who score the most will be taken. Now, don't think you have to score the highest mark or the lowest mark. You have to score 50%. Nothing. All of you who write the exam, all of your marks will be total. And from the top, 2,000 to 3,000 people, depending upon vacancy, will be called. Okay. So there is no reason to say that you need to score 90%, you need to score 80%, you need to score 10%, nothing. You just make sure that you are the top 2,000 or 3,000. You will be called for the exam. So yes, repeat the topic. Okay, can you repeat the topic of GS1 and GS2? Sure, I'll repeat the topics. GS1 is history, geography, Indian society. GS1 is history, geography, Indian society. GS2 is polity, international relations, social justice, and governance. I hope that doubt is clear. Okay. So once that is done, you will be, once your mains examination marks are tallied and total, what was my optional subject? Well, my optional was public administration. I hope that is clear. Okay. We'll talk about optionals at the end of the Q&A session. What are the optionals or something? Okay. Yeah. Finally, we are going for the mains or the personality test. Once your mains marks are done, you will be called forth to the main UPSC Bhavan in Delhi, where you will be, your personality will be evaluated by a panel of eminent members, including UPSC members and retired civil servants, people of really high positions, professors of universities, or vice chancellors or people in very high position who will be checking your compatibility or evaluating you for civil services. And again, with regards to the personality test, don't worry whether it's going to be a GK examination or something. If you are reaching the personality test, you've done all your part with regards to the knowledge portion. They'll be checking your personality. It's not a GK session. It's your personality. So it will vary between people. So the questions asked to me will not be the questions asked to someone else. The questions asked to that person will not be the questions asked to you. So it will depend upon your place of birth. It will be depend upon your graduation. They just want to know the person who's sitting in front of them and see whether that person is capable or does that person possess the qualities required to be a civil servant. That is how the personality test goes. And based upon your marks in the personality test, based upon your marks in the mains examination, both of them will be clubbed, and based upon that combined total, a list will be generated. And if you find your name on that list, you are definitely part of India's civil service. So there was a doubt being raised, which is duration of this exam and timeline of this exam. Definitely, I'll be getting back to you on that, because that is going to be my next topic. So we've discussed about what is the main structure of the exam. We've talked about what are the main subjects involved in this exam. Now we'll be talking about what is the timeline for this exam. Okay, so when does this exam happen? How much is the time? What is the eligibility to write this exam and all that stuff? What is the eligibility to write this exam? You need to be a graduate. Okay, Amrita, I'll definitely get back to you. Let me just finish this. Repeat what you, after the mains exam papers. Okay, I'll get back to you, Amrita. Let me just finish this. So after the, what is the eligibility criteria for the, no, not at all. Please don't apologize. It's not an issue. So with regards to the structure, eligibility of the exam, please make sure that you are a graduate while you are applying for the exam. You need to be a graduate, or you should be at least in your final year to apply for the exam. Okay, that is, and it doesn't matter what kind of stream you possess. You are a humanities background, you have a science background, you have a medical background, doesn't matter. You need to be a graduate. That is the only criteria. And you need to be, make sure that you are below the age of 32 if you are in the general category. You are below the age of 36 if you are in the OBC category. And the number of attempts vary depending upon the category to which you belong to. So if you are in the general category, you'll have 6 attempts. If you are in the OBC category, you'll have 9 attempts. If you are in the SC or the ST category, you'll be definitely having unlimited number of attempts. But make sure, our idea is not to spend 6 years, 6 attempts. No. Like Mr. Murali Krishna said, you have 3 years. Just aim for the first attempt. Make sure that your first attempt is your best attempt, and definitely you'll be getting inside. Okay, so don't think I have time, I can try it later. Begin now. Begin now. It's always possible to make sure that you clear in your first attempt. Okay, so that is the idea. Now with regards to a doubt being asked, which was like, well, after the mains exam, what happens? So after the mains exam, what generally happens is you have a personality test. So based upon your marks in the mains examination, you will be called to the UPSC Bhavan in Delhi, where your personality will be evaluated. How? Just a freewheeling talk between a panel of eminent members, and they will be asking you certain questions with regards to your evaluating your personality. And based upon the marks which you score in that personality test and the marks which you have scored in the mains examination, both of that will be combined. And this combination, based upon this combined total, the mark list will be created. Okay, or the list will be created. And those who are in that list will be called forth for the civil services, for joining into the civil services. Okay, I hope that doubt is clear. And so once we finished talking about the what is civil services, we talked about the major services, we talked about the structure of the examination, and we'll be also talking about the syllabus, the subjects involved, and all that stuff. Yes, will attending model United Nations? Yes, please. Yes, so there was a question being asked, like, attending model United Nations and other socially co-curricular activities give a personality look for UPSC. Definitely. Please make sure that you are, if it is your passion, that if you are interested, please do make sure that your your co-curricular activities and your extracurricular activities look good, because while going for the personality test, you will be asked to fill a detailed application form where all your achievements, where all your passion, your interests, your hobbies, you can mention them all, and it will add a depth to your personality test. I'm not saying that if you have that alone, you're going to clear the examination, definitely not. But having them is always going to be an asset to you for the personality test. Okay, I hope that doubt is clear. So, we talked about the structure of the examination. We talked about the the syllabus of the examination, and what is the general eligibility and the qualification criteria for the examination. Now, there's another doubt: do they test our psychological things like cognition, physical strength, or general knowledge? Your general knowledge will definitely be tested as part of your as part of your mains examination, preliminary examination, because they are based upon general knowledge in many a case. Then cognition and physical strength. No, there will be a medical examination. There will be a medical examination where, in case you have some medical conditions or you have some different needs, you may not be able to go for certain specific services, like technical services like the Indian Police Service, or something like the Indian Forest Service, or maybe something like the Indian Railway Service, or something, Indian Railway Traffic Service, or something. So that is again just a medical examination. You won't have to do any physical test or something. No, don't worry. And with regards to the psychological part, that is what they will be generally evaluating in the personality test, not as such as a psychological interview or something. They'll be just checking whether your personality is suited for the civil services, or what is your attitude and aptitude for the civil services. So I hope that doubt is clear. And because we are going to be talking about what is the attitude and the aptitude required for the civil services examination. Yes, there is another doubt. Considering for those who are currently in 10th standard and about to choose their stream in 11th, any suggestible subjects under humanities that helps in UPSC preparation? Well, generally, I won't say there is any specific subjects which can be suggested for those who are going for the humanities subject, because humanities stream. Because after your 10th standard, your primary aim should make sure that you clear your 12th standard with very good marks. So it doesn't matter if you choose science, it doesn't matter you choose computer science or any commerce or other humanity subject. That is no problem. Please make sure that whatever stream you choose is something you are willing to do, and make sure that you perform really well in that. Okay, because your 12th marks determine the colleges and determine your admission to different colleges. And definitely, if you can groom yourself up well in these colleges, it's going to be an asset to you while preparing for the civil services examination. Okay. So earlier there was a question asked with regards to co-curricular activities or extracurricular activities. Like I said, if you can participate in those without affecting your primary studies and goal, definitely you can mention that in your application form, and it's going to add weight while you go for the personality test. But if the colleges do matter, because your exposure varies in different colleges. If you're studying in a very small college in a very small town in a very small district, your exposure is going to be less compared to studying in some big name college in a big city. Definitely the exposure will be more, and generally your personality will also improve. So taking that into account, I can say that if you have to choose, make sure that you can choose something in which you're good at, and don't make sure that you perform well in your subject in which you choose. Yes. Okay, Nakshatra, yeah, you are in 10th grade. How should I start molding myself to become an IAS officer? So Nakshatra, presently I would say that what you need to become or what you need to mold yourself is to make sure that there is ample goal. You set your goals, or that's what I'm going to say, like what is the necessary attitude and the aptitude necessary to become a civil servant. Now this is applicable for Nakshatra, who's asking about students for 10th grade, and this is also applicable for people who are now presently working, who wish to write for the civil services examination. It is applicable for all, because this is the necessary attitude you need to make sure that you clear the civil services examination. What exactly is the attitude you need? Primarily, hard work. There is no shortcut to hard work. There is no shortcut to hard work. Secondly, there should be a sense towards service, towards goals, achieving your goals, towards compassion. All of this is needed. But it doesn't matter if you are highly compassionate, it doesn't matter if you are really ambitious, until and unless you can put in your efforts, you can put in your hard work, you are not going to clear this exam. So, what is the attitude you need to do? You need to possess. What is the virtue you need to possess? I'll tell you the first virtue you need to possess: perseverance. You need to possess perseverance. You need to possess determination, and you need to possess the ability to move beyond your failures. Because one facet of this exam is you may clear the preliminary exam, you'll even clear the main exam, but you may lose at the final stages of the examination. The next time you will have to again begin from zero. You cannot say that, sir, I cleared the preliminary exam in the previous attempt, I cleared the mains examination in the previous attempt. Can I go to the interview directly? No. Each and every time you fall, you have to begin from the start. You need perseverance. You need determination. You need willpower. You need to work hard. Because this is not a journey which you can undertake easily. The journey ends by becoming some of the finest officers India needs in its civil services. We've all seen people in civil service in our places who are putting in some extraordinary efforts to make sure that the people are safe, that the governance is effective. We have n number of examples. Okay, I'd like to quote the example of Mr. Pame Armstrong, an IAS officer who's based in northeast of India, where he built a road known as the People's Road, where Mr. Pame Armstrong, along with 100 other people who decided to carve out a nearly more than 50-kilometer long road, because they believed that that was needed for much more easy access to different services. So how did Mr. Pame Armstrong achieve that determination, willpower to make sure that he himself gets down on the road and starts helping the people who are making a road? Or I'd like to take the incident of IAS officers in Kerala during the 2018 floods, who decided to go walk cross rivers and forests to give essential services and products like food and other items to tribal settlements. They didn't say that I'm an IAS officer, let the others do. No. They stood at the front. They started leading from the front. So how did these people who grew up among us in a society which is similar to what we are growing up in, how did they raise themselves to that level? How did they do it? Hard work, perseverance, determination, willpower. You need all this. You need to make sure that you mold yourself into better people each and every day while preparing for this exam. Why? Because this exam is a 1-year long process. You start today. You start your prelims examination today. By the time the next prelims examination comes, it's going to be next year. I'll take the example. So because of the COVID pandemic, there's going to be a delay. The exam has been postponed. But generally, the preliminary examination is going to be conducted in the month of May or June, at the end of May or the beginning of June. And the mains examination is going to be conducted at the end of September or October. And finally, the interview or the personality test is going to be conducted in the months of February, March, and finally, the final result will be coming at the end of April, by April. And if you're not done the final result, you'll have to again start preparing, because the next examination is coming on June or at the end of May. So it's a year-long process. It's a year-long process. So many have asked, like, sir, can I apply for this year? Unfortunately, the exam was supposed to be conducted on May 31st or the end of May. And usually the application was opened at the end of February, March. So for this year, the application is complete. For next year, that is for 2022, the application is going to be open in the month of Jan or February. So you can definitely choose that. In that time, if you're applying, please make sure that you're applying for the examination for 2022, which is the notification is going to be coming on Jan or February. Yeah, so there are a few doubts. Let me just clear that. Can you please explain the month of prelims examination? Yeah, so generally the prelims examination is going to be conducted in the month of May or June. Okay. Presently, we are in the second wave of the COVID pandemic. So you can't conduct exams in the midst of a pandemic. And since this is an offline exam, it's not an online exam. Till now, it's been an offline exam. So taking that into account, UPSC has postponed the prelims examination to October 10th for this year. Generally, it's going to be in May or June. I hope that doubt is clear. So next is, how can one overcome self-doubt or all those negative thoughts in the journey of UPSC? I'll be very honest. UPSC, life, your exams, this is something which each and every one of us will be facing all throughout our lives. Each and every one of you face doubts for your 10th standard examination, for your 12th examination, for your graduation, colleges. All those things you will face doubts, you will face negative thoughts. You need to focus. You need to make sure that your goal is clear. Because once your goal is set, once you're willing to work towards that goal, you should be well and good. See, I like to quote an example of a very well-known person. The person's name is Lawyer Mohan. So Lawyer Mohan was going to, fight for going for a case to a different place from where he used to reside. So he was going towards that place. So while going towards that place, and there was a local issue in that place, and he didn't know that. So he was just traveling in the train, and he got involved in it, and people thought he was a part of that community, and they started beating him up. They threw him out. Now the problem is, this man is a lawyer. So he started saying that, okay, I'll move with this, I'll take this to the legal way. And he, took it in a legal manner. They apologized for, harassing him. Problem was solved. He came there for a, case. He finished his case, won the case, went back to where he came. He became known as a very successful lawyer, Lawyer Mohan. Now, there is a twist in the story. When Mohan was leaving when Lawyer Mohan was leaving, finished the case, and he was going back to his hometown, a few people came and requested him, saying that, see, we are the victims of that fight in which you are involved in. So there was actually a clash between communities, and Lawyer Mohan got caught up in that, even though he was not involved. So there were a set of people who are being oppressed. So when these people asked Lawyer Mohan, he was like, fine, I would like to help you out. And that incident changed that man's life. Because from South Africa, Lawyer Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi started fighting and fighting and fighting. Add more years, in 1947, India became independent. Just because Lawyer Mohan decided to not stop fighting, that's how Lawyer Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi became Mahatma Gandhi, the father of our country. You think Mahatma Gandhi didn't face negative thoughts, didn't face doubts? I like to take a quote of Gandhi. First they will laugh at you, then they will fight against you, then they will join you. You will face problems, you will face negativity, you will face difficulties. You just need to have the willpower, perseverance, dedication, and hard work to overcome that. That is how you overcome the negative thoughts in UPSC, in your life. There is no other choice. There is no other thing. Please focus on your goals, focus on your ideas, and definitely you should be going. And there are certain other myths. Do habit of reading books help a lot? Yes, reading always helps you broaden your horizons. So those who are while preparing for the UPSC examination, you will have to read many books to make sure that you are well thorough about the syllabus. So reading books is always encouraged while preparing for the UPSC examination. Then we are coming to demystifying the myths. So we've addressed all the major parts of the examination. Then a few myths and misconceptions, saying that One thing like what do you say? I'll look at okay. So books such as books definitely for UPSC preparation. You should be reading your NCRT books. Then you will be supplementing your knowledge in the NCRT books with other topics. Advanced books. So if you want a detailed book list of what you're supposed to read for the UPSC examination, please do contact the academy. We'll be most happy to help you. We'll be willing to send you a detailed syllabus. We'll be happy to send you a detailed book list of what are the books you're supposed to read. And apart from that, what books you read is up to you. Definitely, it's one's own personal choice. What are the books you should read? What I can tell you is what are the books you should definitely read for your civil services examination. And I told you NCRTs are the beginning. You should definitely read your NCRTs. Apart from that, there are advanced supplementary books. The detailed book list is with the academy. Please do ask that. And how many attempts did I give in the civil services examination? This is my 4th attempt. I did go for the interview. So I'm now presently taking a break. I'm just writing my forest services examination. Yes, Indian Forest Service. Does it need a separate application? Papers of Forest Service. B Farm graduates eligible for the service. Mr. Aju, I will address that question with regards to Forest Services examination. Thus, there is a separate what do you say? The separate application is there, but it's very the Forest Service examination is clubbed with the Civil Services examination. The preliminary exam is same for both. Okay, so to write the Forest Services examination, you have to clear the preliminaries UPSC prelims examination. But once you clear the prelims, you will be having a separate Forest Service mains examination. Okay, and it has different subjects. You have to choose different optionals. You have to choose different optionals like what do you say? Forestry, geology. Now, for those who are wondering, like, is it different for for other papers? No, for other services, no. 24 services of the UPSC, IAS, IPS, everything has the same exam. Forest Service alone has a different exam. So don't confuse like, is Forest separate from all? Just Forest Service exam is separate. Rest IAS, IPS, everything is common. Okay. So Forest Services examination is supposed to be a separate exam, but only their prelims examination are combined. UPSC prelims and Forest Service prelims are combined. Those who can apply for it, you can always apply for it. But its mains is completely different. Unlike the Civil Services examination, Forest Service exam has more subject knowledge. You have to choose 2 optional papers, and it has separate other subjects too. So, Mr. Aju, I'll get back to you at the end. We'll have a more detailed explanation with regards to that. Please do remind me if I forget to say it. And there's another question like, will we get the recording of this class? Please do contact the academy. They'll be most happy to help you with regards to the recording. And good books for 10th grade student. In your 10th grade, like I said, if you're preparing for the civil services examination, you should be focusing on 2 things. I told you, reading your NCRTs, and for any good habits that you'd like to start now. Like, so I wish to develop some good habits. Start reading your newspapers very effectively. Start reading your newspapers, because like I said, your current affairs is going to be coming from your newspapers. Once your NCRTs are set, start preparing through your newspapers. Your newspapers are very, very effective. So it doesn't matter if you're in your 10th standard, doesn't matter if you're in your 12th standard or in your graduation. Begin by reading the newspapers, and also begin by reading the NCRT textbooks. That is how you can begin. You don't have to go to any academy. You don't have to go to anything, because the newspaper and the NCRT textbooks are always available. You can begin off with that. And of course, if you have any other doubts, we are most happy to help you. You just have to contact us, and we'll be willing to render any assistance of any form. You just have to inform us. Okay. So we talked about the general thing, like what is the services, civil services, structure, syllabus. We are talking about the attitude, like I said, hard work, with willpower, determination, perseverance. So I think that is all I wanted to tell you with regards to the examination. We'll go now completely to the Q&A. So now I'll be addressing the questions completely. So if you have any doubts, please start dropping it in the chat box. Okay. Would current questions from current affairs come in all levels of the examination? Definitely questions from current affairs will be coming in the preliminary examination, they will be coming in the mains examination, and definitely they will be coming in the personality test portion of the examination. So one Mr. Aju had asked me a question with regards to forest service. Let me just address that. So forest service preliminary exam is the same as the UPSC prelims examination. It has the same application form. You just have to say you are also applying for forest services examination. That's it. So there is no separate application. You just have to apply along with the civil service. Then what are the papers of forest services examination? Like I said, the preliminary exams are same for forest service. Mains, unlike the forest civil services examination, which has around 9 papers, the forest service examination has just 6 papers. Unlike civil service, forest service mains exam has 6 papers, and out of those 6 papers, 2 are common. One is English and the other is GK. All those, one is general English paper and the other is GK paper. The remaining 4 are separated into 2 optional subjects. So much like I said for the civil services examination, one optional will be that it will be broken into 2 papers, paper 1, paper 2. Similarly, in the forest service mains also, there will be, you'll have to choose 2 optionals and they will be broken into 2 each. So you'll have 4 optional papers and 1 GK and 1 general English paper. So these optional papers, they are not very similar to civil services examination. They are separate for the forest service examination. If you have any doubts with regards to what are the subjects available, please do contact the academy, because there are many subjects and I don't recall them all effectively. And once you clear the mains examination of the forest service, you will also be having a personality test for separately for the forest service examination too. I hope your doubts are clear, Mr. Arju. I'll go for the next question. Yes, what is the pass percentage of MBA optional for mains examination? So there is no such thing as MBA optional as such. The list of optionals that you have is always available online, or if you want some more clarification, please contact the academy. We'll tell you what are the list of optionals. There is no specific optional as MBA. There is optional such as commerce or economics or sociology or something. There is no optional specific as MBA. And there is no specific pass mark also. What you need to do is you need to make sure that you are scoring well, you're scoring enough marks that you're on the top 2000 to 3000 of the of the mains examination. So out of the 10,000 people who are writing, you should be at least in the top 2000 to make sure that you qualify for the personality test. I hope that is clear. Then if you have any doubt regarding UPSC, can I contact you in social media? Nakshatra, feel free to contact the academy. I am also a faculty at the academy. We'll be most happy to help you with any doubts regarding UPSC. Okay. So yes, you're a postgrad student aiming to write the exam. I just started. Is it good writing the exam? Yes, definitely. So Srinath has asked a question like whether he wishes to write the exam next year, and you just started reading NCRTs. Yes, that is a very fine option because you have ample time. It's just the month of June. The next preliminary exam is going to be 1 year later, which is going to be in May or June. So you have ample time. Please do give the attempt next year. It's a good thing you started reading your NCRTs. Please make sure that you're reading newspaper. So with regards to reading newspaper, make sure that you're reading a national daily, and preferably, again, please understand this is a personal opinion. Preferably, I would ask you, those who are reading the national daily, to choose either the Hindu or the New Indian Express, because generally they focus more, they are more well established compared to other newspapers. Of course, I'm not saying that other newspapers should not be read, but your language would be helpful. The ideas and the opinions which are in the newspaper would definitely be helpful. So generally, on a general basis, I would suggest you read the Hindu or the Indian Express for your UPSC preparation, especially for your current affairs. Okay. So I hope your doubt is clear, Mr. Srinath. And is it difficult for a person who has long sightedness? No. Do not worry if you possess any medical conditions like long sight or any other physical needs you possess. It is not a problem. There is something known as the disabled, for the differently abled people. There is a separate quota So you don't have to worry about your medical condition or your physical condition. That is a medical test, and that is something you can definitely overcome. So don't worry about it. In case, yeah, and if you do possess some special needs, you don't have to worry. Maybe certain services which demand physical fitness, like the police service, may not be available to you, but definitely IAS and other services will be available. So you do not have to worry about your medical condition. Okay. The next question: how you study and learn the things? How do I study and how do I learn? Much like I said earlier, there is no shortcut to success. You create a timetable. You make sure that you possess all the required textbooks, like I said, NCRT books, newspapers, and supplementary books. You make sure you have all that ready. You create a timetable and you stick to the timetable. So one thing which I've seen among many aspirants is, while beginning, they are highly motivated, they are highly energetic, they are willing to go to any extra mile to clear this exam. Unfortunately, this enthusiasm and motivation just remains for 1 month or 2 months among many of them. The idea is not to burn yourself out within 2 months. No, the idea is to sustain yourself throughout the entire year, because if you are starting your preparation right now, you are going to be writing your preliminary examination in June. So you need to maintain that fire, that urge, that desire for the next 1 year. And once you maintain that urge for the next 1 year, you need to clear the prelims examination, maintain that desire, write your mains, clear that mains, again go for the personality test and clear it. You need to maintain your willpower, you need to persevere till that. So how do you do that? You plan yourself. You plan the subjects, you create a timetable, you stick to the timetable, and you follow that. There is no other shortcut to that. I hope that is clear on how to study and prepare. So yes, you finished your 12th standard, you like to take a graduation BA Political Science. Do you need to take a PG for preparation for UG? See, there is no necessity that you need to possess a post-graduation to prepare for your civil services examination. I myself possess just a graduation in mechanical engineering. So please understand that there is no compulsory need to possess a post-graduation in any subject to pursue the civil services. If you wish to go for your post-graduation, it is always your choice. The minimum criteria needed is just graduation. So again, the choice is up to you as an individual to go for post-graduation or not. So what is the range of rank that we should get in UPSC so that we can choose IAS or IPS? Generally, if you belong to the general category, I would say you need to come in the top 100 at least to make sure you get into the IAS. Make sure that you get into the top 100 at least, top 150 at least, to make sure that you get into the IPS. This with regards to the general category. So for those who are aiming for IAS and IPS, you need to come in the top 150 ranks. Only then can you get IAS or IPS. I hope that is clear. And for those who, you want, so like I said, you can start your preparation at a very young age, that is immediately after your graduation. So for those who are not yet graduates or who are still pursuing your schooling or your college graduation, start by reading your NCRTs, start by making sure that you keep in touch with the newspapers, you read your newspapers effectively. And if you need any assistance, please do contact the academy. We'll be most happy to help you, guide you through this process, and that will make sure that you can clear the civil services in your first attempt at a very young age itself. Okay. Then eligibility criteria for B Farm graduates eligible for forest service. So generally, those the qualification to be eligible for forest services, you need to possess either physics, chemistry, maths, or any science subject as part of your graduation stream. So for those who are pursuing B Farm, I am not aware about what are the subjects available in B Farm, but you have either physics, chemistry, or maths, or any other science subject in part of your B Farm preparation, then definitely you're eligible for forest service examination. I hope that doubt is clear. Then registration process for the UPSC exam, it is very similar to applying for any government examination. The notification will come out, and once the notification is out, you'll have to go to the UPSC website. You'll have to fill in the application form online. You'll have to pay a registration fee. It is 100 rupees for gents, and it is completely free for ladies and non-gents, and for also for SC/ST people who belong to SC/ST category. It's completely free. For others, it's just 100 rupees. So that is how the registration process. It's not very complicated. When the notification comes, just go online and you can apply for it like any other exam. So, which branch in engineering is apt for preparation to for civil services? If you're talking about the optional Srinidhi, I would definitely say that it is up to one's own, personal choice, because there are people who choose mechanical engineering, those who have background in mechanical engineering, those who have background in civil engineering or electrical engineering. It depends upon one's aptitude. If you do possess that aptitude and you feel that you can do justice to that optional, feel free to choose it. There is no such thing as a bad optional. There is no such thing as the best option. You just need to do justice to it, and definitely you'll score well in your concerned optional if you put complete effort and prepare well for it. Okay. Then, what are subjects you recommend as optionals? Definitely, like I can't recommend any specific subject as an optional because it varies between each people. So definitely I won't be recommending medical science as an optional to people who are from a non-medical background. Neither will I be recommending engineering to people who are from a non-engineering background. But the rest is again up to you, because I had mechanical engineering as my graduation. I did not personally choose mechanical engineering because I felt that I was more passionate about public administration. Therefore, I decided to choose that. So there is no, like I said, there is no specific option which is good or which is bad. All that is left to you is your choice. So before choosing your optional, please read the syllabus of the optional. It is available online, or if you are not aware of it, please do contact the academy. We'll be helping you out. So check out the syllabus of the optional. Once the syllabus is clear, if you feel that you're comfortable with it, and if you feel that you have a mentor, which is something I highly recommend to you, you go choose a mentor. And if you have a mentor, go for that option. There is no such thing as a bad option, or there's no such thing as a specific good option. I hope that is clear. Then, yeah, thank you. And yeah, IPS, that is just to get into IPS, you have to clear the UPSC Civil Services examination. There is no other choice. Of course, you can clear your local state government police exams, and maybe you'll get promoted into IPS. But to go directly to the IPS service, directly you want to achieve IPS, you have to go through the civil services examination. Okay, I hope that doubt is clear. Then, any more doubts? Or is there any doubt that I haven't addressed or which you would like me to address? If you have any doubts, please do drop it in the comment box, chat box, or if you can please turn on your audio and ask me any doubts if you feel that you have. How to enhance the English language? Okay. With regards to English language, generally, to prepare for any language, like you go to a different country, you need to start speaking the language. You need to start listening to people who speak that language. You need to start reading books in that language. So with regards to English, definitely I would say start reading your textbooks, your newspapers. Start trying to understand the meanings of those words. Start using them in your conversations when you're speaking in English. Talk to people in English. Start writing in English. And this is not there is no one specific method which I can tell you and you can do it today and you can become proficient in English tomorrow. What I can suggest is, this is the path. Start speaking, start writing, start reading, and over a period of time, it can take months, it can maybe take up to a year, definitely your English will improve. But you have to start today itself. Reading, writing, listening, speaking, your English will improve. I hope that out is clear. Is there any chance of getting into state service and promoted as IAS later? Yes, definitely. You can get into state service. You just have to write your local state government exams. And if you get into them, maybe later on in your career, after some 10 or 15 years, maybe you will be declared as conferred IAS or conferred IPS. But why do you wish to go like that when you can go directly to that place? You just have to clear the civil services examination. Directly you will be going for IAS or IPS. You don't have to wait 15 years to get into IAS or IPS. So that is an advantage of the civil services examination. What is the salary of an IAS officer? Reason you can give an approximate number of. Okay, I'll give you an approximate thing of around 1 lakh rupees per month, inclusive of all the perks and all those perks and benefits. It will come approximately to 1 lakh rupees. That is clear. Which is the best newspaper to be read, which can enhance the language? Well, like I said, personally, I would recommend the Hindu or the Indian Express because they have a very good, they possess a very good vocabulary. They possess some very good editors and reporters. So, with regards to English, I would definitely say that is good. Yes, Meena, you've raised your hand. Please do mention what is your doubt. You can always mention it in the chat box, or you can turn on your audio and ask me.
Good evening, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I want to say that from early age, students are preparing. They only clear the exam, or after graduation also we have to more effort in that. Because
Yes.
because I have seen various people like Tina Dabi or Sushtijan Desmukh or anyone who are from the good background. Just you have said that uh, graduation matters a lot. What in graduation, which campus we are, which environment we are, that's make our mentality very much strong. That's why I have seen that more IITians, because I have seen they are study more times, so they are more effort and their learning power is more, I think so good. That's why they clear this exam. Or like Tina Dabi and Jain Desmukh, these people are starting from their early age, but in interview they don't say that they are not started, always said that they started, they always started in college only, but they say wrong, I think so.
Yeah.
So what you comment in that?
So with regards to that, you yourself said the answer for that, Ms. Veena, because you said they put in more effort. They put in more. I don't believe in they possess more learning power. They put in more effort, and definitely it is quite possible they would have started their preparation very early. But please understand, the aim is not to be Tina Dabi, or the aim is not to be Shruti Jain. You just have to be yourself. You need just one seat, and it doesn't matter how many seats are available or anything. Aim for that one seat. So does it matter that if only IITians get in? No. I personally know people who studied humanities background in very small town colleges who gotten into service, and I also know people who come from IITs and IIMs who have not cleared the civil services examination. So it is not necessary that only IITians and people from IIMs get in and others don't get in. What makes the difference is the effort to be put in towards preparing for the exam. Definitely, people who have come from a very good background in colleges and in schools, they do have an advantage. But just because they possess an advantage doesn't reduce your chances of succeeding. What we need to do is we just need to put in our efforts. It's always possible to clear it. Like I said, personally, my friends who studied in local colleges, who studied in small town colleges, they are presently in IAS and IPS and other different services. It's always possible. What is needed is hard work, perseverance, determination. Definitely, you should be going for that. Okay. And I have some few more doubts. I think that what is the ideal time period required to complete a fruitful preparation? So ideally, I would say if you can start at least 8 to 10 months before your preliminary examination, you can cover your preliminary subjects and your main subjects very effectively. So with regards to that, I would say that since the next preliminary exam is coming in June, which each and every one of you can write. So I think this moment is the perfect time to start preparing for your civil services attempt if you are going to give it for the next year. Okay. Any more doubts?
Excuse me, so sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, please.
Since we are running out of time, I think maybe last one question you could take.
Yeah, please. So last final question, please. I think all our doubts are done. Then I think we can wind up the session, Amrita. Thank you. So thank you everyone for your wonderful cooperation. Yes?
Sir,
Thank you,
excuse me,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
Sir, one last question. Sir, I would like to know that whether we can choose our cadre after we finish our training for IAS or IPS or something like that.
You will be definitely able to choose your cadre, and that will be done when you are going for the personality test. So once you pass your mains examination, you can always choose your cadre, and depending upon the availability which is there, if there is enough vacancy, you will be allotted the cadre of your choice. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. uh, okay, that is another doubt, I guess. uh, Updated with current affairs, NCRT books will be enough. Yes, please do begin with that, and begin with your NCRTs and newspapers. That is sufficient if you're in your ninth grade. That is more than enough. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I think that would be all from my side for this session. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for very patiently explaining and clearing doubts regarding each and single step of the examination, and also with frequent drips of confidence to our participants by quoting stories, incidents, and also by breaking the myths of civil service examination. So, I'm very much sure that each and everyone have received infinite booster doses of confidence, encouragement to aim your civil service exam with hard work, persistence, and passion, as very rightly as Sir has mentioned. So, concluding our session, so any occasion becomes incomplete without acknowledging the effort of everyone who associated with us. So, on behalf of Ayurveda India, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Brahmachari Vishwanath Amrita Chaitanya ji, Sri Sibi Joy, Sri Nikhil, and the entire Amrita IAS Academy team. And on a personal note, I also thank Sri Murli Krishna ji, all AYUDH state and chapter coordinators, and all those who have participated us in this wonderful session. So thank you all, and it would become incomplete if I don't thank one important person. From bottom of my heart, I thank Amma for showering her immense grace throughout the session for this wonderful, interactive, and knowledge enhancing session which we had right now. So thank you all. So let us conclude by chanting the Shanti Mantra. Over to you, Harinandana.
Amrita, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One important thing is
Harinandana, 1 minute.
all the participants would be curious to know what next. Okay. So it's very helpful for all the, I mean, because as Veena asked, whether some of them would be in college, some of them would have completed their graduation, some of them would be toying with the idea of what to do. So what's really important is, in case they would like to pursue this, this journey, it's very helpful for them to know that they can contact the academy, and I think that we can probably just publish the academy number for them to contact, and and speak to the counselor to see what options are available. So it's very important for all the participants to know that in these times the online program is available. So as CB sir rightly said, to make it easy, it's very important that you take the right guidance for coaching, and really understand, because what happens many times is when we attempt it on our own, you will make a lot of mistakes, and then we lose very precious time. So if we are able to get a right guidance and coaching, like he was ever again mentioning about mentors. So mentorship helps us to avoid mistakes in this journey and make all the right decisions, whether it be optional, whether it be many of those choices. So being part of an academy helps you to make those right decisions. First, it activates your
Here, movement that
know,
inspires.
yeah. So it's very important for all of you to recognize that like imagine you're going to a place the first time, you honestly don't know, but someone by your side who knows exactly where to go and how to go makes so much the journey easier. Okay, so just keep that in mind, and whoever is interested in being taking it either as a along with the regular studies, in Amrita University, many students they pursue the civil service coaching along with the regular studies. Okay, and of course, once you completed graduation, you can pursue it on a full-time basis. Both options are available. Just make it a point to reach out to. Maybe I can mention the phone number here: 85890 60000. Okay, you can note it: 8589060000. You can contact this number. I think the counselor would be able to support you. And my only wish is take this seriously, because you are already your fire in you to burning in your heart to as the higher ideal of motto of service. Okay, and pursuing a career anyway, all of us need a career for life, and one of the best options would be for a civil service, and the very details have been given to you all. What is important is take the first step. Okay, move in this direction, see, and give your best shot. Even whatever, I mean, one point what Sibi sir also would if he had time permitted, he would have mentioned is, even if you don't make it a service, there are so many other opportunities, revenues will be open for you, either in the central government or state government or in the private sector. This education or this training would equip you. Okay, just keep that in mind. Am I right, Sibi? Would you just want to touch upon that before we close?
Yes, sir. Like Swami said, this is the highest echelon that you're aiming for, but definitely state services and other services are always open to you. If you can, if you can't reach for the stars, aim for the moon. If you can't aim for the moon, aim for the sky. So just because you didn't get the civil services, it doesn't mean that you will be pushed back towards, you will be completely nil. Definitely more avenues will be open. Thank you. Over to you, Swami.
Just keep that in mind, friends. Again, yeah, thank you. I took a little extra time, all of us, but anyway, it was a great investment of our time to exactly understand what the service is all about. Remove all the myths, remove all the unnecessaries, and really be focused on what is the core thing that need to be known. And that information has more or less entirely been covered now. Now you can make up your mind and take a decision and walk to your goals. Thank you. Thank you. Over to you, Amrita. Thank you. Namaskar. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, Sami, for beautifully wrapping up. You know, like a gift is being wrapped up. You wrapped up the whole session very beautifully. Thank you, Sami. That was very apt that you finished it in this way. Thank you so much, Namshaya. So we'll conclude with Shanti Mantra.
लोका समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु। लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु। लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम्।
Once again, thank you all for joining, and Om Nam Shivaya. All the best for your journey towards civil service examination. Nam Shivaya.